Alright, I'm gonna start the project that I will be doing using AutoCAD 3D, which will be testing setup. So I'm planning to do this test setup. So I will start like drawing each part separately, and then we will combine all of them. Actually, we can take the picture itself inside the AutoCAD so we can work while looking at that picture. So I will go back to the top, and then I'm gonna go back to the wireframe, and I will paste the picture here so I can look at it while making this test setup. So I will start with the wall itself, which is very basic or simple wall. I mean, we can just assume the dimensions because I don't know the dimensions for this test setup, but I'm gonna assume based on what I can see from the picture. So I will start with the wall, assuming that the wall is 100 by, maybe I can make it larger. Instead of 100, let's make it 1000. I'm gonna extend it by 900. So this is the wall. And then I'm talking about the strong wall that we have here. And then we will be drawing this wall. So mainly I will be looking at this from the top so I can draw some elements before going into the details. And this will be the strong floor. Let's assume this strong floor is long as that much. I'm just assuming the dimensions. For example, this one is 2000 inches maybe, or millimeter. I can say 20 millimeters or whatever. But if someone has the exact dimensions, he can just draw in AutoCAD 3D according to those dimensions. But I'm just assuming here so I can make it simple. So in this case, we can start extruding from now, or we can do that later. For example, this wall has a height of 1500, and this strong floor I can make the thickness, for example, 400 or maybe 200, and then we can move them like this. One thing I want to mention here that we can use the command that is called merge. So I can do merge, or I can type merge like this, or I can use, yeah, I can type merge, or I can do this command, which is merge. So when I select this, so when I select the merge command, I can select the two elements that I want to merge, and now they will turn into one element. As we can see, they are representing one unit or one element. So this is the strong floor and the strong wall. Now I will be drawing the testing specimen, which is this one. We have a shear wall with top beam, and we have the base. So how can I do that? I'm gonna starting with the base. Let's assume the base is 500 by maybe 500, but I'm gonna make it more rectangular, so I'm gonna reduce the width. Let's increase the depth by, let's say, 200. Then I'm gonna draw the wall with offset inside some. I can do the offset command. Yeah, I'm gonna do the offset command. So this is the inside wall, the shear wall that I wanna test. I can make it smaller. For example, here we have, I'm gonna enlarge the dimension So we can see this command, which is dim. I can do the dim, and then I can show dims, which is dim style. Then I can, for example, this is the current one that I'm using. I can just make a new one. I'm gonna call it 3D, for example. Okay, and then I can update this 3D dimension. I called it 3D, so I can enlarge the text. For example, here instead of 2.5, let's make it 15, and we can change the font in case we want to. But in general, I can do one more thing here, which is fitting. I can do overall scaling of, let's say, 5, so it will enlarge everything. So this is the old dimension. I can also do this. When I select 3D, I'm gonna say set current, so whenever I do dimensions, it will be the one I'm using. But I can see the text is very large, that's why I have to reduce it a little bit. How can we reduce the text? Again, go to dimension style and select 3D, modify, and then go to text. Instead of 15, let's make it 2.5, and it's already multiplied when we select the fit command by 5. Yeah, so now we can see the dimension clearly. So I'm gonna reduce the dimension a little bit. Let's say I'm gonna make it 100 and the footing to be 250. The length of 7 dimensions doesn't matter, but I just wanna make proportional drawings to the picture that I choose to establish using this AutoCAD 3D model. So now I have the wall, I have the beam, and I have the base. No, I need to draw the beam. Let's say the beam is extending 20 out of the wall. So now I have 3 different objects or 3 different plans that I will use to establish the wall. So what to do now? I'm gonna move the beam. What will be the height of this wall? Let's assume the height of this wall is 1000. So now we just need to extrude. So I'm gonna select extrusion, select this, and I should extrude this beam upward by, let's say, 200. Again, I'm gonna do extrude. I'm gonna click enter again because it was the last command that I used. Then I'm gonna do 1000. And lastly, I'm gonna pick the base and make it, let's say, 400. Now the wall looks larger than what we have in the picture, but we can adjust. We can always adjust. For example, this one 300. I can keep it 300. I can change the wall dimensions, but if I do this, yeah, it will be working. For example, now the wall is thinner, and that's what I wanted. I can also bring the wall again to the center of the foundation like this. So what we have now, we have 50, and we have 250, and the beam I think is 150. Yeah, 150. The beam is 150. I will not care about the dimensions in this model for now, but we can include them in when printing this model. So I have the wall. Just to make everything clear and easy to understand, I'm gonna change colors, and I would prefer making new layers. For example, here I'm gonna say let's say lab, which is the strong floor and the strong wall. I'm gonna make it this color, and then let's say wall, and then we can do steel parts, for example, and we can change all colors at any time. For example, this is the color of the concrete and steel parts. I can keep them red as usual. I can also do, for example, bolts. I would prefer working with layers because this can save you later when you want to update something and isolate layers and this and this. So I'm gonna select all wool parts. I will change the layer into wool, and its color will be changed. Then I'm gonna select this one, which is the lab. I said this is gonna be the lab. So when we move this, let's say I wanna move this to the center of this. How can we adjust this to the center? I can move it here. Simply I can move it like this, and then I move it inside. Maybe I can draw a line here, which will give me the center of this, and then we can move it simply like this. So now I have my wall like this. But I can see from the picture, if we look again at the picture, we can see that this picture shows that the wall is a little bit far from the strong wall. So what we can do, we can again come back and move it, for example 500. That will be enough. So now I have this wall and the lab at the right positions. What is next? We'll go to the beams. So now next step is to draw these lateral supports. Let's assume they are steel parts, and I just need to do one of them, and then I'm gonna copy that one to the both sides, two at each side. How to do that? I have two options. The first option I'm gonna look from the front, so I can draw them proportionally to the wall. So let's say I'm gonna again work with wall. How to do that? I will do no, sorry, I'm gonna work with the front side. So I can work as 2D. Okay, so this is let me just check so I can see the steel supports are a little bit higher than the beam at the top of the wall. I know this. Okay, let's look at this before going into this. I can see the wall is a little bit, the strong wall is short, so I need to increase the depth of this wall. What to do? I can simply draw extension, for example here 1000, and the other one is here 1000, and then we can do this. Now I have 2D part. I can simply extrude it. I don't know, I think I used how much I used here. I can always check. Sometimes it's difficult to deal with dimensions in AutoCAD 3D if you wanna check, but I would suggest using the command DI, which is distance. Okay, I'm gonna use distance command, and then I come here, select here. What is the dimension of this side is 30. So I'm gonna just update this one. Yeah. So I would prefer working with AutoCAD while having this list, which is the quick menu, which allow us to edit stuff and details of our selected part or selected element. For example, this I can simply change the thickness or the extrusion depth by using this quick menu. How to show this quick menu? We can come here, select this, and then you will find here something called quick properties, and it's shown here. So we can see we can turn it on and off. So now I have these two parts. How can I merge them together? I can just simply again use the merge command, select the first and select the second, and done. Now we have the wall as we can see from this. What is next? We said we are gonna work with the front side in order to have the lateral supports. So I'm gonna draw a line here. Regardless of the location, I can always work with the 3D, but sometimes I prefer to work in 2D so it's easy to understand. So let's do this, 2100, let's say. And then I'm gonna make the depth about 250. Then we will close this triangle. But I can see I increase the depth a little bit. If we compared it to this, no, it should be smaller. It's not extending that much. So what can we do in this case? We will just simply select this and we can reduce the depth by 500. But if we have it by 500, I'm gonna look at, sorry, I will be looking at this. What is the problem now? I realize that we have a gap, but it doesn't matter. This gap doesn't matter because by the end we can see from here the wall is supported by these elements using these rods. So what to do now? I will keep this for now. It's working. What I need to do is to extrude this part. So I have two options to draw. Actually, I have two options to draw these lateral supports. The first one I'm using now, which is to draw the plane. So when I select this, I will just use the command join. So now they are one polyline, and I'm gonna extrude this polyline by, let's say, 20. Notice, increase it. I'm going to turn on the quick properties menu. As you can see here, let's make it 30. So this is the lateral support, and I would prefer choosing this and changing its layer into steel, for example. So what to do now? I need to move it to the right place. As we can see, it's almost in the middle. We have two of them. We will separate them by small distance. So I can move this to the middle and then move it a little bit to the right. For example, I'm gonna move it 100, and then we will copy the same one by 200. Now we can look at this. It looks similar to what we have here. We can move them a little bit if we want. For example, 25, and the other one is 25. But before copying anything, I suggest finishing everything regarding the part that you want to copy. So forget about that, about this one, and we'll come back here to draw these gaps. I mean, by then they are just, and we will learn new commands in this case. So what can I do? Even before going into the extrusion, I can establish those gaps. But what to do now? I will draw another polyline around this element. So I can use the command of offset. So let's assume the width or the depth of this beam to be maybe 50. If I do this, I feel 50 is too much, so I'm gonna make it 30. Okay, and then we need to draw this beam and this beam. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we can make it very accurate if we are working in with something that we know with exact dimensions. For example, this one, I'm gonna draw it from here. I think this will work. Again, I'm gonna copy this like this. 30, I mean I will have uniform depth. What else? Yeah, another beam is coming from here like this. Yeah, and that's it. I will do the same here. But if we wanna be exact, yeah, this beam is fine. Okay. What can I do now? I will just try to, what I need, let's say I need to drill holes or to remove parts from this solid plate. So what I need, actually, I don't need this. I don't care about this. I care about those gaps. So for example, this one, yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm trimming this. I don't need it. I need only this gap. I need, so by the end, I don't care about anything. I care only about the inside parts, those parts. I'll make join. I joined them. Now that I have 3 different parts, I'm gonna move them from here to the actual part I have. Yes. But I can see I moved them to the wrong place. Now I'm gonna come back, select again, copy from this corner to this corner. Maybe I did, yeah, I did the offset in the wrong direction. I'm gonna fix this. Okay, how to fix it? I'm gonna draw this polyline again to this face. So this is the polyline that I have. I will do offset inside, draw the beam again, draw another beam, and do offsets like this. I don't care about anything, but I need just the gaps inside. Let's trim this. Trimming all the parts that I don't need. I need only this one. By then I select all of them and I select the command join. Let's move them again. I'm gonna move them from this corner to this corner. Yes. Now we can see these parts or these holes are at the right position. What to do now? I can extrude them. So when I select extrude, I will select this and this and this to the inside part by, I think I selected 30. How to check? I can come here and look at this from the side. As we can see, they have the same depth now. So what can I do in this case? Now I have 2 different parts. What to do? I need to remove these parts from this part. So there is a command that is called subtract. I'm not sure which one is this, but I usually use yeah, it's this one. So subtract, as we can see from here. The picture is showing us what is going on. You have 2 different parts. You want to subtract one from the other one. So I'm gonna type subtract, enter. Yeah, subtract, enter. First, yeah, when you do a command in AutoCAD, you need to look at this. Select objects. So I'm gonna select this. Then I'm gonna click enter, and I will select the other. No, actually, I need to select all the parts at the same time, and then enter. Now we can see this. This is 1 unit, and when we display this, let's say I'm gonna make it realistic. Yeah, now we can see the part that we need is exactly similar to this one. Even I can extend it a little bit. I feel it's short, but anyway, I'm just making the concept here similar to what we have. Again, I'm gonna go back to this one. Now I can select this one and copy it by 250, I think. Yeah, now I can copy. I don't need to wait because they are ready to be used. They are done. What to do? I need to do mirror. So I'm gonna select this and this, and I will do the mirror command in 3D. How to do the mirror command in 3D? I have to use 3D mirror, and I cannot use the mirror command directly unless I'm using I'm using the right face, or let's say I wanna use this front face, so I can do mirror. Let's try now. I can do this mirror. It's working in 2D, and I can even select front, and I will see both of them will work. When I select front, yeah, it will work. If we select these 2 parts and then MI, the normal mirror or the 2D mirror command, it will work. What if I want to do the mirror command in 3D? Sometimes you need to do the mirror command in 3D. So I will do 3D mirror and then select this object and this object, but then you need to select, yeah, here, look at this. We need to select 3 points which will form a plane in which we are doing the mirror. So what to do, I'm going to select 3 points. I'm selecting this point and this point and finally this point. Do you want to delete the current objects? No. It's the same command that give us the same results. Let's look at this in realistic form. Yeah, as we can see, now we have the test setup similar to what we have here. We can always change the colors. For example, here, if you want to change the color of this part, I will change it to what we have so we can look similar to the picture.